once government loses the ability to collect these massive amounts of taxes and fund these unnecessary programs that they have and projects that they do, they're going to have to downsize and only put money into things that are going to support the people. The people are not going to put anything into the government unless it's some kind of service or project, that fully serves the people. That will set the stage for government to be dismantled and reassembled into something like a lot of these decentralized models that we see today.
From the new home of Bitcoin and all things blockchain, Peckham, South London, this is the Genesis Block Education Podcast, and I'm your host, Bitcoin by Malks. Welcome everybody to the second part of our two-part podcast with Bennie Overton, where we focus on what the F is DeFi. I'm not going to swear this time. Before we get stuck in, I just want to remind everybody to please check out the Bitcoin by Malks website for articles, obviously for all the latest podcasts, as well as other insights and great information. For the Bitcoin beginners out there, our Bitcoin's Basics course is now live on Udemy, so check it out. And as always, please like, please share, please comment, tell your friends about me. See you on the other side. It's over to you, Benny. Pretty much what you're saying, DeFi offers all the financial services of the traditional financial system and more. It's sort of borrowing and lending, investing, savings, derivatives, insurance, fundraising, capital raising. It sounds too good to be true. It sounds amazing. So obviously, my next question to you is: what are the risks? What are the cons? What are the challenges with DeFi in its current state? Because it's quite a new thing. It is quite a new thing, right?
Yeah. So the biggest risk when it comes to DeFi is the smart contracts that the code that actually executes. And like I said, Ethereum is getting better and better and better at securing these contracts, the way the code is written and how to secure these codes.
Mm-hmm.
You have had a number of very big hacks that happen because and it's not the blockchain that gets hacked. What happens is they write these codes, these smart contract codes, on top of the blockchain network, and these smart contract codes can get hacked.
Yeah.
But you have a number of large companies out there, software companies, that will audit your code, and the new smart contracts that you see today, they are being written with with 4 years worth of hacks that have happened, that every time a hack happens, the code gets tighter and more secure because again, it's only software. So if you find any kind of anything that can be exploited in this code, it can just be patched immediately. And you're dealing with open source software, so you have a globe of developers and coders and programmers who, once they get a whiff of any kind of hack, they are all allowed or able to see how this hack happened, and what was the cause, what was the weakness in the code that was written, and so therefore you begin to form these very solid standards of code writing, these smart contracts, and that's where we are. We're 4 years deep into that. And these contracts are getting a lot more secure and stronger, and it's less and less hacks nowadays. They still happen, but even when a smart contract gets hacked, it's very similar to what happened with Pay Network recently. So, so that's one of the biggest risks right there. Other than the smart contracts able to be hacked, there's really no other danger there. other than the entire blockchain will have to go down, and that's nearly impossible. That's literally impossible. But if somehow everybody stopped using that blockchain and that blockchain disappeared, then that's the other risk. But other than that, there's no real major risk.
Cool.
And that is crazy.
That's
yeah. Amazing.
I'm not gonna lie. It does sound too good to be true, but
yes, it does.
But it's the reality is when you do the mathematics and when you, because I've worked in banking for a good 7 years, so I can see what margins are made within banking. And if we're talking about removal of the banks and all of that sort of margin that they take up is left with like borrowers and lenders or the counterpart, it's just so much money to be left. So I can understand the returns are realistic. They are realistic if you cut out and if you disintermediate all of those middle players. Okay. What we're gonna quickly do, I'm gonna shout out a few words. If you can just explain what these words mean. So these words are words when people talk about DeFi, I hear a lot. But I just want you, for the listeners, to explain what these words mean. So let's start off with staking. What does staking mean?
Okay, so staking is basically where you lock your coins for miners or validators on the network to allow them to use your coins as basically it's like they're putting them up to say, listen, I'm risking losing these if I do something wrong or if I do something that will try to corrupt the network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what staking is, like proof of stake. You have to have a certain amount of coins to be a validator or to be a miner, instead of proof of work.
Mm.
And if a miner does anything bad or against the protocol, then he'll lose his tokens. So basically, you're allowing those tokens to be, when you stake coins or stake tokens, you're allowing them to use to secure the protocol. Another thing about staking is you can stake a governance token or something like Aave or something. You can stake it in the protocol, and you'll earn dividends from the things that happen on that protocol.
Right.
So there's a number of different models that allow you to benefit from staking.
Cool. Next one. So good.
You basically earn passive income.
Earn passive. Okay. Fantastic. Next one. Yield farming.
Okay, yield farming. When you provide liquidity for something like Uniswap or any decentralized exchange, you're going to get LP tokens. Your LP tokens they're called liquidity pool tokens.
Right.
So you're going to get a token that represents the amount of coins that you have locked in the liquidity pool. You can take those tokens and you can use them on another protocol that will give you the coins that the protocol that you're using, that you're providing liquidity to, they most likely will have some kind of governance token, and you can get those free tokens. They'll give you free tokens just for taking your liquidity pool tokens and locking them or staking them in another protocol, and that's what you call like yield farming.
Cool. So with that, I actually wanted to ask what a liquidity pool is, but you pretty much answered it in that explanation as well. So my last phrase or word is market maker. What is a market maker?
Okay, so a market maker is a person who provides something like, it could be like provide liquidity or it could be offering a trade. So a market maker is offering a trade or trying to initiate a trade.
Right.
And basically, so what the market makers do is they make these coins available for trade or for purchase. That's what a market maker is, basically.
So, unless you've been hiding under a rock recently, you may have heard about this thing called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is everywhere at the moment, with people saying it's one of the most important inventions of the 21st century. If, like many people, you're still not sure or haven't got a clue what all the fuss is about or where to start on your learning journey, Genesis Block Education has the course for you. The Bitcoin Basics Beginners course is now available on Udemy. It's packed full of lectures, activities and easy to follow resources which will give you the fundamental knowledge on what Bitcoin is, what makes it so valuable and most importantly how to obtain and secure it. If you want more information, please see the show notes or visit us at bitcoinbymalks.com, the Bitcoin Basics course. Without Bitcoin, there is no cryptocurrency.
All right, Benny, this is your time to talk about three projects which really excite you in the DeFi space. We've touched a bit upon Aave, but maybe you can just talk a little bit more about it. So yeah, over to you. Aave. Why does Aave excite you?
Well, when I came in contact with Aave, I was first I was buying the coins, and then there was a guy in the Black People in Cryptocurrency group, and he was talking about DeFi, and I kept seeing DeFi, and I really didn't understand what DeFi was myself. This was last year, around probably like May or June, probably about almost a year ago. And he was talking about DeFi, and me and him had a conversation. And we met on a platform, a decentralized platform called Keybase. And he showed me a couple of things, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't understand that's what DeFi was allowing." He showed me Instadap, and he showed me how you could create a vault and mint stable coins from your vault. And so I'm like, okay. So I started dabbling around different protocols, and I found Aave. And when I found Aave, I realized that I could take some of my coins and collateralize them and take out loans. So I collateralized like 600 Chainlink. I bought when they were like $2.
Wow.
Chainlink was doing well. Chainlink had went up like $10 or $11 or something when I found Aave. And I put those on there and I pulled out a loan.
Wow.
And I said, okay. When I put out the loan, I pulled out stable coins as a loan. And I went and bought some wrapped Bitcoin, and I took that and locked that on the protocol, and then I was allowed to continue borrowing. And then around September, October, Bitcoin was going up. Aave was not Aave, but Chainlink was going up. Polkadot came out. I took out a loan. I bought 700 Polkadots when they were like $4 when they first came out in August. And next thing you know, I was literally freely accumulating massive amounts of crypto. Bitcoin, Chainlink, Polkadot, Ethereum. And I didn't care about the gas fees because I was taking out loans that were $8,000, $6,000 loans at a time. And I didn't care about the $200 or $300 gas fees that I was paying because I would just take the $6,000 loan. I would take $1,000 of that loan and buy Ethereum with it and keep that in my wallet. So I didn't care about the gas fees. I was refilling my Ethereum up, anytime I wanted to take out a loan. So I was aggressively borrowing. I got liquidated a few times. I wanted to learn the protocol, so I wanted to make mistakes. I wasn't making them on purpose, but I wanted to be aggressive just to see what would happen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like I said, I never lost any of my principal. I never even came close to losing any of my principal. I was buying coins and locking them back on the protocol, and it would sell off just enough of those coins to get me below a certain threshold of my loan to value ratio, what they call an LTV ratio, loan to value. And I said, wow, people need to know about this. So I helped a guy here, and he had he had about $60,000 worth of Bitcoin. And I showed him how to do it, and I did it for him, and I took out 31,000, and it put him at 91,000. $91 or $93,000 worth of assets. And he was just like, wow, that was amazing. And I was like, well, you can continue to do it. So he still could take out more loans because he put all of that 30,000 back on there in Bitcoin. And he ended up buying about 2,000 polka dots. This was like in October and of last year. And I did it for him about 3 or 4 different times. And right now, this guy is sitting on over $1 million worth of crypto.
Oh my gosh. Let me understand. I'm a bit slow. So what I need to understand is, let's just say you have a Bitcoin, you put it on Aave, then you borrow, so you can buy another Bitcoin.
And that's exactly that. Listen, I've done this for over at least 25, 30 or more people. I've done this for up to now, to this point.
What you're saying is that you can borrow, and the increase in the value of the Bitcoin will repay that loan. Is that technically what's happening?
Absolutely.
Right.
So if I'll give you an example that you were using with the one Bitcoin. If you take one Bitcoin at $50,000 and you lock it on Aave, you can take out 75% of that value, which is going to be about $35,000. So you put a whole Bitcoin on there. You take out 35,000. You buy 75% of a Bitcoin. You take that 75% of a Bitcoin and you lock it on there. Okay, so now you take that you took that 35,000 and put it back on there. Now you can take probably another maybe $20,000. You can take that out now. You take that 20,000 out and you go buy another $20,000 worth of Bitcoin. So you've more than doubled your Bitcoin.
Jeez.
You have more than 2 coins, and it took you probably 20 to 30 minutes to do it. So then let's say you have 2 Bitcoins now, and let's say Bitcoin goes up to $80,000 now. They both of your coins have added 30,000 to the values, which adds 60,000 to your total of your collateral. So now you're sitting on 160. You're sitting on 160,000 now in collateral, and you can take another 75% of that value out, minus what you've already taken out. You can continue to do that, and these loans don't have to be paid back until you get ready. There's no time limit.
That's what I'm not getting. That's what. Okay.
No monthly interest rate payments or anything like that.
Because I'm thinking okay, so all right, so you can pay in your time.
Yes. So you borrow those stable coins. That stable coin that you borrow, the amount that you borrowed is not going to move. But the assets that you're the assets that you're paying or that you're buying with the money that you borrowed, they are moving at an exponential rate. So you might borrow stable coins at, let's say, 10%. Let's say you borrow 10,000 stable coins, $10,000 worth of stable coins, and let's say at 10%. So you're gonna have to pay back 11,000 annually. So let's say you keep it for a year,
right?
So you have to pay back 11,000.
Yeah.
But let's say with that $10,000 loan you bought, let's say you bought 1/5 of a Bitcoin, 20% of a Bitcoin. And let's say Bitcoin reaches, let's say 400,000. We'll keep it kind of conservative. Let's say 400,000.
Conservative. I love that. I love talking to you sometimes, Benny. Yeah.
So 1/5 of 250,000 is going to be about 50,000. That'll be 50,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so you took 10,000, you borrowed 10,000, it turned into 50,000. Once you pay back the 11,000, you've cleared $39,000 from that so-called loan. So, like Michael Saylor was explaining why he borrowed almost $2 billion to buy Bitcoin, with his company.
Crazy.
He says, why would I not borrow everything I can borrow? He said Bitcoin consistently. He said Bitcoin has consistently for the last 10 years increased 200 to 300% every year, annually, consistently. He said this is the best performing asset in human history, and why would I not borrow everything I could borrow? He took $750 million of his company's money, bought Bitcoin. Then he borrowed $1 billion to buy more Bitcoin. Then he borrowed almost another $1 billion to buy Bitcoin. And he's still trying to find ways to borrow.
Yeah, he bought yesterday. He bought yesterday. This guy's crazy.
Not only is he a CEO of $1 billion company, MicroStrategies, but he's also literally a rocket scientist, aeronautics engineer.
He is.
And he's a genius. He's very intelligent.
He's very sharp dude.
And he
very
explains
sharp dude.
things so elegantly. He uses beautiful metaphors to explain why this makes all these metaphors dealing with energy and stuff like that. And so I'm using the same concept. Some people hear the word loan or borrow and they get scared.
That's me. So I'm not gonna lie. Like the way you've kind of dropped it to me, is
Every single person that I have walked through this process, once they see it with their own eyes, they are completely blown away and can't believe that something like this is available to anybody. I have done this for people. I've done this for people that came to me with $4,500. Because I always say at least $5,000 worth of crypto because of the gas fees. As long as you can come with at least $5,000 worth of gas fees, with at least $5,000 worth of collateral, the gas fees won't mean a thing.
Yeah.
But if you only have something like $1,000, then you want to wait until they fix these gas fees.
Yeah.
But if you have at least $5,000 worth of crypto, there's no reason you should not be utilizing this protocol, gaining massive amounts of crypto, and allowing this bull run to leverage for you, to leverage a future generational wealth for you. So I have people. Like I said, there's a guy here. I have him up over $1 million now. There's a woman from the UK, an older white lady, one of the first people I helped. She's over $1 million.
Wow.
The guy I told you about that I helped a couple of weeks ago, he's over $320,000. There's a woman that lives in the Dominican Republic that I've been helping for about the last month and a half. She came with about $32,000 worth of Bitcoin. She's over
$32,000. Okay,
Yeah, she's over 100. She's over 100. No, I'm sorry. She's over 190,000. She's almost two. If she's not already over 200. Last time she showed me, she was over 190,000.
So I just want to step in and I just want to say, anybody who is utilizing Bennie's services, make sure you are looking after Brother Bennie. Make sure you're looking after him.
A couple other people use me and skirted on me, but now when I help people, I just ask them I'll say, listen, I'm gonna show you how to walk you through this little process.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you how to get these loans. The first loan, I wanna ask you to just share 20% of the loan with me to help me get reach my goals. And I'm gonna show you how to use this method to create generational wealth, and you can live for free. Because another thing is this: if you collateralize these assets and you pull these loans out, you can pull these loans out and pay your bills and go grocery shopping and whatever you have to do, your living expenses. And then you can take your entire paycheck and income every week and just buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. You can buy crypto with your entire paycheck, lock it on Aave, pull out a loan, and pay all your living expenses while your coins steady go up in value. And that's another method I've been helping people with to show them how to kill 2 and 3 birds with one stone, create generational wealth, and live for free, and get themselves out of all debt that they've ever thought about. So I've got people who take their credit cards and they max them out every month and buy crypto. Then they pull out the loan and they pay back the credit card interest every month.
obviously I don't want you to reveal too much, because obviously you got to keep some bits away to obviously get your customers in, and people that you're helping. But just in terms of paying off your bills, your monthly bills, do you not create a taxable event by taking out crypto against your... I know, actually, because you're loaning the money, right?
Absolutely not.
Right, yeah, of
Absolutely
course.
not.
Right.
Absolutely not. There's nowhere in the world it's a taxable event. But you're borrowing stablecoin,
Yeah.
and you're taking that stablecoin and you're turning that back into dollars, either by utilize one of the things I'll tell people, the easiest way is utilize Cash App. You can you can convert the stable coin into Bitcoin on something like Atomic, or use your exchange, whatever you use. But you can use Atomic Wallet, convert it into Bitcoin, send that Bitcoin to your Cash App, and hit the sell button, and it turns it straight into cash.
Is that not a taxable event?
Of course not, because where did those coins come from? Where did the Bitcoin come from? Who sent them to you? Did you make any gains? This is not a taxable event at all. They don't know if someone sent this to your Cash App as a gift, as a payment for some kind of service, or that you might have done for somebody.
Got it. Got it.
Cash App doesn't report you. They might offer you a form to report yourself and your own taxes.
Got it.
But they're not going to report you to the IRS, and the IRS doesn't have access to any of your financial records without a warrant. So no. So there's no issue with crypto and taxes, period. It's just that people are,
that's the actual...
They get full of fear.
That's a big statement.
They think somehow that the IRS has access to their financial records. No, the IRS does not have access to any of your financial records from any financial institution without a warrant. And the only way they can get a warrant is that some kind of crime has been committed. Yeah, I don't know why people are spreading this fear around, saying that, you gotta pay your taxes on your crypto. It's like, okay, why would you, first and foremost, you have to have some gains. First and foremost. Yeah. And if you don't have any gains, you can use that to your advantage when you file your taxes. So, and then crypto was created to be private. Most people don't know how to utilize the privacy aspects of it because they're stuck on centralized exchanges and stuff like that, and they're giving these centralized exchanges all of their information. Yes. They don't know how to use non-custodial wallets. So they're doing themselves a huge disservice by not learning how to fully utilize crypto.
Wow, Benny, I've really been schooled today. Anyway, listen, we could talk about RV and a peer-to-peer lending protocol, but just before we kind of wrap up, can you just touch upon Uniswap and decentralized exchanges? What are they? Oh, so it's what excites you about them, should I say?
Okay, so I was giving you the example of me borrowing stable coins from Aave.
Yeah.
Okay, I can immediately leave that protocol, go straight to Uniswap, and purchase any coin I want to purchase. And I don't have to fill out an application. I don't need an email. I don't need a phone number. I don't need my name or address. I don't need anything. All I need is a Web3 wallet, a wallet that has that has a browser extension, such as MetaMask, Token, Trust Wallet, Coinami wallet. These are all Web3 wallets. My ETH wallet. These are all Web3 wallets that have browser extensions, and you can connect to any decentralized app. And because Ethereum is a virtual machine, therefore, when you get on here and you do these different transactions and stuff, it's not even your IP address that's being read to these, on these protocols. And they're not even real websites. These are protocols that are attached to a blockchain network. So it's very difficult to try to track these millions of wallets and addresses, billions of wallets and addresses that people have created and that are not attached to any names. Sure, you can track down a user of a Bitcoin wallet address if you have specific kinds of information that's tied to it. But once you move coins to a new address, and they don't know if that address is attached to the old address or not, they don't know if it's in the same wallet or not. Okay, that's a lot of fear that people are spreading around, because it is extremely, they don't have the manpower. Even if you have the computer power to track all these transactions, you don't have the manpower to sift through it. And like I said, Ethereum is a virtual machine. A virtual machine is something that you can remove the hard drive from your computer. You can plug in a virtual machine. You can turn it on. It creates a new IP address for you. You can surf the web. You can do anything you can do, anything you want to do. And once you unplug that thumb drive that has that virtual machine on it, everything disappears. There's no record of anything that you did while you was on the internet. That's what Ethereum is. That's why they call Ethereum the world computer. That's why they call it a virtual machine, because it's literally a virtual machine. You can compute on it. You can do everything you can do with a regular computer with Ethereum's network without using your own computing system or your own computer system.
Amazing. Benny, listen, we can talk all day, but sooner or later, but we gotta wrap this up soon.
I'm sorry for all of the background noise.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's just pure gold.
My predicament is just I really don't have too many options.
But what I will ask you now is, what's your vision for DeFi for the next sort of 5-10 years? Where do you see this going?
Wow, that picture.
Share that picture with us.
Amazing. No one can tell you to the extent of the things we will see in the next 5 to 10 years. Think about it like this. Think about in 1996, where we were at with the internet. Nobody could have told you what Facebook, that Facebook would be here. Nobody knew what something like that would even look like. Nobody could have imagined Facebook in 96. Nobody could have imagined Twitter. Nobody could have imagined Amazon. And look how huge these things are. Look how much they changed our world. Look how much Amazon changed our world. At the most fundamental level of just shipping. Bringing the things to your doorstep. Putting things in the trunk of your car for you. Dropping stuff off around the corner in a lockbox for you. This stuff is. Look at Uber. Nobody could have imagined Uber in 96.
No way.
So where we are in DeFi right now is like where the internet was in 96 or 94 or something. And look at what we have now. So, you could try to imagine what that would look like. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth and say, yeah, we're going to have this. Or
yeah, you just can't even do that, yeah.
I can't say the banking industry won't be here. It will.
Within what time frame?
It won't resemble anything we see today.
And you're saying that within 10 years? Within 5 or 10 years? How many years are we talking?
I'll say within 2 years. The banking industry won't look anything like we see today.
Wow.
In less than 2 years, it will resemble nothing of what we know of as banking today. 10 years? Oh my goodness. 10 years, society might be completely blockchainized, decentralized governance, the politicians and everything. We might have a whole new model of governance and everything because of blockchain, which people have already designed whole ecosystem, not political, but governance ecosystems using these tokens, and they are working. Once government loses the ability to collect these massive amounts of taxes and fund these unnecessary programs that they have and projects that they do. They're going to have to downsize and only put money into things that are going to support the people.
Yeah.
And the people are not going to put anything into the government unless it's some kind of service or project, that fully serves the people. Once that happens, and government can no longer be as tyrannical as they've been over the last 100 years or so, that will set the stage for government to be dismantled and reassembled into something like a lot of these decentralized models that we see today. I mean, that definitely is coming down the pipe. I don't know if it's going to be 5 years or 10 years, but that's going to happen. Government is going to be dismantled and restructured into something more fair for everybody, without the discrimination, without the tyrannical behavior. And that's all governments, not just U.S. That's all governments. It's going to happen. So the governments are going to lash out. They're going to do their tyrannical behaviors and try to put people in their place. But that's not going to last, because they're going to run out of funds. And when they run out of funds, what do they have left? So that's going to come. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be 5 or 10 years for that.
Yeah.
But it's going to eventually happen.
It's going to happen.
They're going to run out of bullets and missiles eventually somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
And I mean, who are they going to aim at? Are you going to aim at, wallets? Are you going to aim at, public key addresses? Who are you going to attack? This is all virtual.
Yeah, that
guns and bombs don't work in cyberspace.
Yeah. it is really going to change how society functions, and how I guess violence, the monopoly of violence that governments tend to have, rightly or wrongly, it's really going to shift things. It is really going to shift things, and a lot of people can't see it. I think I can see it. What direction it's going to go and how it's going to shift it, I couldn't tell you, but I can see
what is going to happen.
Yeah. I can see the threat of violence from governments, which they've normally relied on, not being a lever that they can pull anymore.
Crypto is extremely non-violent.
Exactly.
Bitcoin is non-violent revolution.
Exactly.
They can't win. You can't win, and you don't have anybody to attack, because I can sit home, or I can sit in this prison cell, and I can use the internet and enter cyberspace, and I can remove myself from the financial system of the banks and governments, and I can function.
Not fund their bullshit. Yeah,
and not fund their bullshit. So, everybody in the world eventually is going to use these systems and not fund their bullshit. When their bullshit is no longer funded, they're going to have to tap on your door and say, how are you doing? I would like to know if you would like to donate to help us provide a service to the people. And you can gladly tell them that I'm sorry, but I heard that there's a crypto project that's crowdfunding from the people to build roads and bridges, to repair streets, to build parks for the kids and new schools, and we really don't need your service anymore, but thank you.
Benny, on that note, where can anybody hear from you, find out more about you, and hear more about your coaching services?
Well, I can be reached, of course, on my email is Bennie Honna, that's BENI HONNA, Bennie Honna @protonmail.com. I'm on Facebook as Bitcoin Blockmaster. I have a group on Facebook where I'm trying to educate as many people as possible. Everybody's welcome to join the group. It's very entertaining, very educational.
Very entertaining. I got to say, it makes me laugh at least three, 4 times a day. I love it. I love it. I love
My
it.
group is New Money Revolution.
Yeah.
Cryptosphere. That's New Money Revolution Cryptosphere. And I'm on Messenger, and you can hit me on Messenger at any time also. And other than that, I'm just doing what I love to do. I'm reaching out and I'm educating people, and I'm networking and I'm meeting new people from all over the place. I came up in the streets by choice. I didn't have to be in the streets, but I realized I came up around a lot of the wrong people. I'm finding people that are similarly, they have similar mentalities like my own. Nerds and geeks. I've always really been that at heart. And I'm creating a new network of friends and associates.
Benny, before we close out, I just want to say, man, like, this has been another mind-blowing session, mind-blowing conversation. I feel so enriched. Sometimes when you're having a conversation and you kind of feel it in your gut, like the excitement, the butterflies, in terms of what can potentially happen. That's really what I felt just kind of listening to DeFi, because my background is finance. So being in finance, being someone who's worked in banking, I can clearly see what the issues are, and I can clearly see how people are kept from building wealth, kept from getting access to change their situation. Right now, given how many people you said in the world are using it, around 100 million, it's technically still an idea. It's a tiny percentage, right, of the globe in terms of people who actually need it. But if this can actually reach the people who need it, then it will change. It will change the world. So again, I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And I'll just close out with you to just say a few words. Over to you, man.
And when you're ready, I'm ready to walk you through the process as well.
Sure.
So I just wanted just let the world know that DeFi is here. It is real. It is magnificent. It's amazing. And you should do all you can to learn as much as you can about this. Whatever time you have available, it's more than worth it. It's going to change your life. It's going, and especially if you can get into it during this bull run, because you can leverage this bull run and change your life in such amazing ways. Most of you, if you get into DeFi today, and you start utilizing some of these methods I talked about, you can literally retire by December of this year. And I mean that. And this is not exaggeration. This is not trying to fill somebody's head up or give you hope. This is not hope. This is
hopium.
This is not hopium. This is promise.
Yeah.
And I wish to God, man, that everybody take the opportunity, whatever it is you have to do, to learn about how to use these wallets, these Web3 wallets, and utilize these decentralized protocols.
Yeah.
And get yourself out of debt and get your life together. Create a future for your children. Make the world better. Take the power away from these people who have corrupted the world. The answer is here now. We have no more excuses. The answer is here. Bitcoin brought the answer, and everything that branched out from Bitcoin, it's going to get better, and it's going to get even better and better and better as time goes by. We have some magnificent people building these structures, this infrastructure, these blockchains, these decentralized financial protocols. They are fabulous people, and they're building a new world for us all to non-violently escape the tyrannical behavior of these governments, the abusive behavior of these governments, as far as physically abusive, financially abusive, and it's here. Our answer is here. So please join in. Please stop using these centralized platforms. Stop empowering these people who have completely corrupted our world. Make this world a better place, please.
Bennie,
That's really all I have to say.
Bennie, on that note, I thank you so much. Man, take care, man. Have a good evening.
Take care.
All right, see you later.
You too.
All right, bless.
Later.
Bye. So what do you think? What a conversation. I'm not going to lie, listening to some parts and some of the questions that I raised just showed how sort of thin my knowledge was on DeFi at the time. And I do cringe in some parts, but that is what this space is about. In the months since we did this, which was at the beginning of 2021, I've had an almost hockey stick sort of uptick in terms of my knowledge and going up that knowledge curve, because I've really spent time on DeFi. I've put assets on there. I've lost some money. I've made some money, and I've really experimented, as highly recommended by Bennie. But I'm a bit more clued up. I'm a bit more aware of the risks and the uncertainties. But as always, Bennie really gives you the context of where this is going. His focus is most certainly, definitely more on how we as individuals can succeed and utilize and leverage DeFi as a tool to grow wealth, to improve our financial performance of our own sort of portfolios. But since this conversations, it's not just about people. Institutions are now getting into DeFi and trying to leverage it, because the opportunity of DeFi is absolutely huge, and it's, at this point, it is quite understated. Now, there are a lot of questions around sort of the honesty and the sustainability of DeFi on sort of platforms such as Ethereum, with a lot of the more Bitcoin and maximalist crowd saying ultimately DeFi will end up on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is that settlement layer. I do believe that. I do believe that a lot of these chains that we see popping up will ultimately transfer on Bitcoin, as Bitcoin proves itself to be that gold or that settlement layer within the crypto ecosystem. We will see the development of DeFi on Bitcoin, and that's something that I will look to improve my knowledge on and invest on. All right, just before I go, let me give you my 2 Satoshis. Obviously, always a pleasure to have Bennie, and he's someone that I really believe that can be a great help to society, certainly for his community. I guess given his position, he's probably got more of a bigger risk appetite to DeFi. I certainly don't recommend some of his strategies for people who are just getting into DeFi for the first time, especially buying on leverage, because if that market goes against you, it's not good, and a lot of people experience that in May. So if you are going to use that strategy, because it is definitely a wealth creating strategy, just make sure you have those hedges and those you understand your risk management position when you're doing anything on leverage. But certainly it's not something I recommend to people who are new in the space, or just new to trading, or new to doing any sort of portfolio risk management. DeFi makes this accessible to you, so there are going to be people who really find this is a great opportunity to build generational wealth, and you have to take the opportunity if it's in front of you, but really do take your time, research, don't ape into it, don't get gassed up by the numbers when you see them go up, because when the market moves against you, it could be quite ugly. So yeah, approach with caution. My second takeaway is that this DeFi ecosystem is finance is really one of the first use cases, but I think we will see this trickle over to governance, and Bennie touches upon that in this podcast really well. I guess he sees it, ultimately, given his position, his focus is really around social upheaval and really having people-driven policies at the top level, at the government level. And decentralisation of finance is just the beginning, because once we fix the money, as they say, you fix the politics, you fix many other problems. And I think DeFi can prove to be an important tool for society. So guys, yes, this is my last podcast for a little while. I did announce last week that I've taken up an opportunity to work with a major startup in this Bitcoin crypto space. Stay on my socials. More news will be released as we go, but some big things to happen in the next few months. So really excited. But the downside is I won't have time, which I never really did have that much time, to be quite honest, given my consistency, but won't have much time to do the podcast as well as the Genesis Block education stuff. But the plan is to park it. And, you know, what I'm working on is all going to add value. So when Malcolm comes back to this, I'm really coming back with sort of years of experience, if I want to say years, or more time and experience in the game with actually launching products and delivering value. We're probably a few years into what could be a multi-decade growth industry. And this is why I took the opportunity to do this, because I really just wanted to, certainly starting from my close circle, just be able to articulate the growth or the potential that's in front of us. And the reality for me is a lot of people just don't get it. They're just not going to get it. And that's just, and you know, and this is not for everybody, but whether you get it or not, it will happen. And so what I guess by these sort of platforms is really trying to just get people ready for these changes. In life, when you know things are going to change, you can adapt to change a lot more better, and with a lot less disturbance on your finances or your personal situation. So before I go, as per usual, please check out the Bitcoin by Malks website. That's bitcoinbymalks.com, and also check out the Bitcoin Basics course on Udemy. It's a really great podcast by Bennie. If you want to make any donations, if you feel this has added value to you, your knowledge, your understanding around the crypto space, how big the scope can get, then donate something to Bennie. Send him something, help him out, really show your appreciation. Send some crypto his way. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate it. So this is Genesis Block Education Podcast. I'm Bitcoin by Malks, and I'll see you around. Stay blessed.